Tonight on CTV News at 11:30, a life cut short by gun violence.
Today is going to be a very hard day for everyone. This is the day where we say see you later, and we're not going to be able to touch, smell, hear him.
A ceremony was held on Manitoulin Island in honor of an 8-year-old boy who was killed in Toronto. Plus, loving local.
It's much bigger than it used to be years ago. Years ago, it was just a couple of vendors. Now it's huge.
The North Bay Farmers Market is celebrating a banner summer. And it's time for takeoff. A look at Canada's largest rocketry challenge taking place in Northern Ontario.
CTV News at 11:30 with Ian Campbell and Rick Wyman with weather.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. Ian is off this week. Javi Roy was laid to rest today on Manitoulin Island after he was killed by a stray bullet in Toronto last weekend. CTV's Angela Gemmell reports.
This small community centre was overflowing with mourners for the traditional ceremony to say goodbye to Javi Roy.
Today is going to be a very hard day for everyone. This is the day where we say see you later, and we're not going to be able to touch, smell, hear him.
His mother Holly is from the Wikwemkong unceded territory on Manitoulin Island. Family and friends, including many from Toronto, came to pay their respects and support the family.
Now she's surrounded by everybody, but come 6 months from now, it's when she really will need her community.
Cameras were not allowed to take footage of the traditional ceremony that included a feast, drumming, and sage burning. The funeral procession included local emergency services and Indigenous organizations. Despite the somber atmosphere, there were also calls for an end to gun violence and a demand for justice.
Gun violence needs to stop. And I think that I'm calling out all politicians, calling out the federal government, the provincial government. What are they going to do?
We need direct action, not politicians giving promises, open promises. If you want to help her, put the sign on the dotted line and help her.
A GoFundMe set up to help pay for funeral expenses for the family has now raised $28,000. The procession traveled to a cemetery within the territory. That's where loved ones said a heartfelt goodbye for now to Javi Roy, a young life cut short. Angela Gemmell, CTV News, Wikwemkong.
And a vigil will be held tomorrow in Toronto for Javi Roy, a tragedy that's prompting more people to speak out.
Honestly, the whole situation, it's really messed up. It sucks that gun violence is such a common thing in the city. I wish that, everybody could take the time to think before they do, because senseless acts of violence always end up with, families that are sad, families that lost their loved ones. Javi is not the only loved one I've lost to gun violence. I've lost a few. It's sad to say that, but it's become a norm. It's become a reality for a lot of people. It's become normal.
A candlelit vigil is planned for tomorrow from 5 to 8 p.m. outside the family's home. Provincial police netted $200,000 in cocaine during a traffic stop last week. Police say they got a call about a possible impaired driver at a gas station on Henvey Inlet First Nation. When officers investigated, they found 2 kilograms of cocaine in the vehicle. A 28-year-old from Sioux Lookout was arrested and charged. A Kashechewan First Nation man has been arrested and charged with possession of child pornography and luring following a police investigation. Anishinaabe Aski Police Service executed a search warrant at a residence in the 0 to 100 block of Amisk Street early this morning. Police say a number of electronic devices were seized. The 28-year-old suspect was arrested and was released with conditions, along with a future appearance date. 2 people have been arrested in Greater Sudbury after taking thousands of dollars from someone using the Grandparent scam. The grandparent scam is when someone calls claiming to be your grandchild who needs money for an emergency. In this case, the caller told the victim they needed the money for bail, which they provided to two people who showed up to collect it on behalf of her grandson. Police received another call from a resident who said the scammer tried the same thing. The second victim didn't give them any money and was able to provide police a description of their vehicle. Police caught the suspects on Long Lake Road in Sudbury and found large amounts of cash, several cell phones, and fraudulent IDs. A 37-year-old man and a 46-year-old woman from Montreal have been charged with fraud over $5,000. Police believe there are more victims out there. New Democrat MPPs say Francophone education in Ontario could be at risk of meddling from the Ford government. France Gélinas joined a delegation at Queen's Park this morning, saying the province's controversial education bill could lead to violating Francophone charter rights. That story from CTV's Sergio Arangio.
A threat to Francophone education is a threat to our survival.
They're taking Ontario's Bill 33 as a potential danger to Francophone charter rights to receive education in French, and particularly to manage their own school boards. Northern MPP France Gélinas joined a delegation of Francophone groups to call for the bill's repeal, one that gives the government more oversight over the province's school boards.
We are here to remind Mr. Ford that Francophone do exist in Ontario and that a large part of our survival depends on our education system.
Among the powers under Bill 33 would be for the Education Minister to launch investigations into school boards, issue directives, and even take control of school boards if those directives are not followed. The Francophone community worries that that could mean cuts to services and Anglophones directing French curriculum.
The supervisor will be able to make all of the decisions regarding Francophone education without having to consult a single Franco-Ontarian.
Adding that there are no mentions in the bill of intentions to respect charter rights, striking fears that an over 600,000 Francophone population could decline.
If the government choose not to respect Francophone rights, they can expect action and pushback.
There are over 480 Francophone schools across 12 French school boards in Ontario. Over 100 of them are in the Northeast. The province could not respond to the community's concerns for us by our deadline. Sergio Arangio, CTV News, Timmins.
And this afternoon, we received a statement from the Executive Director of Communications for Education Minister Paul Calandra. It reads in part, "We have increased funding for French language school boards by about 34% since 2018 and will continue working closely with our partners in the Franco-Ontarian community to strengthen and deliver the high-quality French language education that every child deserves." There are more emergency room closures in Algoma. The North Shore Health Network says the emergency department at the Thessalon site is shut down from tomorrow from 8 a.m. until 8 in the morning on Friday. So if you need care, head to Blind River, Richards Landing, or Sioux Area Hospital. For emergencies, call 911. Canada Post and the Canadian Union of Postal Workers are returning to the bargaining table today. A few weeks ago, unionized postal workers rejected the Crown Corporation's last offer, which included wage hikes over 4 years at around 13% and adding part-time workers to the workforce. Plans to revive talks last week were delayed due to a lack of available government mediators. QPW claimed labor unrest with Air Canada was taking attention away from the Postal Service's dispute, which has gone on for over a year and a half. An update tonight from Fauquier-Strickland, where Council is looking at increasing taxes to combat the more than $2.5 million municipal deficit. Last night, Council met to review a report on possible tax increases. The preferred option in the report was an overall property tax of 125%. That would pay off the community's debts and set them up for a 3% increase for each year until 2029. But to do that, the city would need to use discretionary reserves of nearly $1.4 million. While it would leave the community exposed this year, the plan would slowly replenish the coffers by 2029. Construction has begun on the Kingsway Employment District Business Park in Sudbury. And today, the developer, city, and waste management celebrated with a ribbon-cutting ceremony. CTV's Madison Marier has more.
The land, once slated for an entertainment complex, has a new life.
We call it a ribbon cutting ceremony, but it's not just a ribbon cutting ceremony. It's not about cutting a ribbon. It's about finally cutting through the red tape.
It's super exciting to start this development park with Dario and his team. We've been at this for 4.5 years to find the right space.
They were looking for a piece of property, an industrial piece of property in the city limits, and so they're the first domino, and we needed that first domino to start. And with that, we're able to arrange the financing.
The property on the Kingsway is well known to Sudbury, as it was the preferred area for the new arena and has been the subject of major city council spending and legal battles from 2017 to 2022.
A few months ago, the council voted to support the building of a road, but it's a shared cost. So basically, the taxpayers are paying around 20% of what the road cost instead of 100% of what the road would cost.
With the past plans for the KED still on Sudburyans' mind, Zulich remains optimistic about the future of what the business park could look like.
And we've finally got all the approvals, and I think there's so much demand out here for industrial space that buildings will be popping up everywhere and creating jobs, and it's going to be great for our community.
Zulich says that the KED Business Park is still forming, and the FEV believes that it will bring in many employment opportunities to the city. Madison Marier, CTV News, Sudbury.
A wicked storm that rumbled through Sudbury and killed 6 people is being remembered today on social media. 55 years ago, an F3 category tornado swept through parts of the city with winds reaching more than 300 kilometers an hour. The tornado blew through Lively and Copper Cliff, destroying homes and businesses in its path. The storm would push east through Field and North Bay before finally petering out in Ottawa. 200 people were injured, 6 were killed. It remains one of the deadliest tornadoes in Canadian history, more than half a century later. Time now for a short break here on CTV News. Coming up, I will have your full weather forecast. For now, a look at the current conditions around the region. And some clear skies out there across the board. 16 in Wawa, 15 in Elliott Lake and Gore Bay, 17 in Timiskaming Shore. Some cloudy skies there. Your full forecast is coming up next.
When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400 from your screen to ours. Text 10400.
Welcome back. It was certainly a beautiful day out there across our region, and tomorrow looks like more of that and some hot and humid weather as well. Let's get into it with the full forecast, starting with the forecast radar. We are going to see a little bit of pockets of precipitation here and there throughout our region as we head into Friday. Not really a whole lot to tell you about, though. For the most part, we're going to just see a little bit here and there. 7-day forecast starting with Sudbury, Nickel Belt. High of 26 for tomorrow, feeling like 28 with the humidex, mix of sun and cloud continuing on into Friday. Chance of showers back-to-back Saturday and Sunday with hopefully a few sunny breaks. Temperatures falling a bit to 15 degrees on Monday with a chance of showers. For Sault Ste. Marie, Algoma, 25 for tomorrow with a mix of sun and cloud, feeling like 31 with the humidex. Chance of showers on Friday, continuing on into the weekend. 19 on Sunday, slight chance of showers, and temperatures fall to 16 degrees on Monday, well below seasonal there. For Timmins, Cochrane, Kapuskasing, 26 for tomorrow, feeling like 29 with the humidex, mix of sun and cloud. Chance of showers on Friday, high of 24. Stronger chance of showers on Saturday and Sunday for much of the weekend there. Chance of showers on Monday as well, high of 14. And then we get to single-digit lows, 7 degrees on Monday there for overnight. For Timiskaming Shores, Kirkland Lake, 26 for tomorrow. Mainly cloudy skies, feeling like 31. Bit more sunshine on Friday, high of 26. 25 on Saturday with a chance of showers. 22 on Sunday, continuing on with a chance of showers there with hopefully a little bit of sunshine in between all of that. And then 15 on Monday, chance of showers. Finally, for North Bay, West Nipissing, 26 for tomorrow with a mix of sun and clouds. Sunny skies on Friday. That looks like a beautiful start to the weekend, but then gray skies roll in to start Saturday. Chance of showers with a high of 22 degrees, holding on to that temperature for Sunday with a chance of showers. And then Monday, things cool off across the region there. As you can see, 15 chance of showers. And by Tuesday, a mix of sun and cloud. And that was your full forecast. This summer's farmers market in North Bay has seen its busiest year on record. CTV's Eric Tashner explains what's driving this year's success.
The Buy Local and Buy Canadian movements haven't lost their mojo at the North Bay Farmers Market.
I got some corn today. Usually I buy the duck eggs and all kinds of veggies.
The farmers market has consistently seen its busiest year on record.
We're seeing it weekend after weekend, not just, the odd Saturday. It's been very consistently super busy.
There are three major factors attributed to this. A strong growing season in the fields. The pandemic 5 years ago began the push to buy local. Now tariffs and U.S. rhetoric threatening Canada's sovereignty has pushed Canadians to change their spending ways.
Here I buy Canadian and I know it's fresh off the farm, and I'm a farmer's daughter, so it really helps.
We have locally, as opposed to going to, it's like a big box store. That's why we like to come here. It's much bigger than it used to be years ago. Years ago, it was just a couple of vendors. Now it's huge.
About 60% of the local vendors are farmers, while others include jewelers and crafters.
Mom's picked up some jewelry.
I like jewelry, so I bought jewelry.
In October, the market will move indoors, but crowd sizes are expected to remain high as the fall harvest season kicks into high gear.
Farmers like myself were encouraged, we see that we're being seen as valued.
Eric Tashner, CTV News, North Bay.
Sudbury's mayor was filling backpacks today to help youth in the community start the school year off right. The supplies were fundraised by the Rotary Club of Sudbury Sunrisers, but the whole project is in conjunction with the City of Barrie and the Providing Instruments of Excellence, or PI, Education Initiative. Sudbury and Barrie collaborated to get 1,200 backpacks to help families in need and give students a good start to the school year.
So for us, it's making sure that they start the school year with confidence, and they have the same chance of success, and that they can feel equal to everybody else in the classroom.
Mayor Lafayette says social services will assist and ensure the backpacks get to kids who need them most. If you're in the midst of getting the kids ready for back to school, don't forget to check their eyes. As our health reporter Pauline Chan tells us, eye exams are covered by OHIP, but shockingly few kids take advantage of the service.
If I had not seen an issue in Nash's eye, it would never have been on my radar to take him to get an eye exam so early in his life.
In fact, only 17% of infants or toddlers get their eyes checked. And in school children, the number is only slightly better, 33%.
So we recommend that children start getting their eyes checked at 6 months of age and then annual from 2 years old onwards. And in Ontario, OHIP covers eye exams for children 19 and under every year.
And Dr. Shaina Nancy says back to school is the perfect time of year to get your kids' vision checked.
There are very serious conditions like eye cancers, or there are sight-threatening conditions like strabismus, which is a wandering eye, or amblyopia, a lazy eye, when one eye doesn't see as well as the other.
For Nash, it was a potentially life-saving checkup with an optometrist that allowed his parents to learn he had an eye cancer called retinoblastoma when he was just 5 months old.
Detecting retinoblastoma used to be easier before smartphones came along and reduced the opportunities of seeing something called leukocoria.
That's the distinctive eye reflection in photos caused by retinoblastoma.
You can actually recreate that red reflex in the eye if you're using the video mode in a dark room with a forced flash.
But Caitlin Winterink never saw leukocoria in Nash's initial photos, so the checkup was key.
So I recommend that parents go to optom.on.ca, and that is a website where you can find an optometrist near you and just book an appointment.
As for Nash, he was treated with chemotherapy and now gets frequent eye checks, but he's ready to start kindergarten in the fall. Pauline Chan, CTV News.
Northerners have been lucky in the lottery this summer. Robert St. Ange from Azilda in Greater Sudbury is the latest in a string of winners we've told you about. He won $100,000 playing Plinko. Congratulations, Robert. And healthcare in North Bay won big at the Osprey Golf Tournament in Callander yesterday. The charity golf gala raised $90,000 to help with the purchase of transport ventilators for the North Bay Regional Health Center. Since its inception 27 years ago, the event has raised more than $700,000 for medical equipment. An Ottawa teenager is headed to Bahrain to try to become the top go-kart racer in the world, and he might have a shot. CTV's Dave Charbonneau reports.
Olivier Marac doesn't just race go-karts, he lives for them.
I just love the adrenaline. I love racing.
The 15-year-old has been racing since he was 9. After taking the checkered flag at the Canadian final in Edmonton, he's getting set to head to Bahrain.
Racing against the best racers in the world and representing my country feels great.
And if he can win that race,
then you're the world champion. You're the best in the world.
The love for racing was passed down from his father, who initially had to drag him to the track at a young age.
At first he didn't like it, but then he began to love it.
His dad says it won't be just any race in Bahrain, it's a world event, and Olivier is among the best.
Very proud, and it's a world event, and it's the best drivers from around the world. And that's what makes it so special for me, that he's actually part of this.
This is his first year in seniors, and he won the ticket, which is, rarely seen.
For his mother, races are exciting as they are stressful, with speeds that can reach up to 130 kilometers per hour.
It's very stressful. Sometimes I can't watch. I just have to leave the stands and I pace back and forth. It's fun, it's exhilarating, but it's very stressful. For a mom, it's very stressful.
For Olivier, he says racing go-karts is just the beginning.
My main dream is to get to Formula One, but any car would be nice to race for a career.
Olivier hits the track in Bahrain the first week of December. Dave Charbonneau, CTV News.
Still ahead tonight on CTV News. 3, 2, 1, takeoff. Hundreds of students are testing rockets in our region. Details next. Finally for us tonight, Canada's largest student rocketry challenge is taking place this week on Matagami First Nation, southwest of Timmins. Around 400 students are testing rockets they've built and are blasting off for the first time. CTV's Lydia Chubak reports.
About a 90-minute drive from Timmins and in Matagami First Nation territory is where you'll find the ideal location for firing off rockets. The non-profit organization called Launch Canada says this is the only place in the country that's permitted rocket launching to take place.
We have municipal, provincial, and federal support to do this. I think there's really a vision for Canada to develop this aerospace industry, and it starts with our students, whether university or high school. And right now, the high school students in Timmins and Matagami have been top-notch and are really building the future of this industry.
More than 400 students are participating, including some from Timmins, and there are teams from about a dozen Canadian universities, including Carleton, Alberta, and Saskatchewan.
The McGill rocket team is just about to raise its experimental hybrid rocket, which has taken tens of thousands of work hours to build. And it's a rare moment because it takes many steps of testing to get to this point, and very few Canadian universities even make it here.
But Launch Canada says there is a huge need for more rocket scientists, and this challenge is an opportunity to motivate more youths to consider rocketry as a career.
There are now multiple rocket companies in Canada on a race to build the first Canadian rocket to go to orbit, because as we build our country and make one Canada strong, we need to have our own access to space.
This is the fourth year Science Timmins has brought a contingent.
You should see their faces when their rockets go up. It's just pure joy to see them, excitement, and everybody's clapping. There's lots of spectators here. Everybody claps when it's a good launch, and even if it's not a good launch, doesn't matter. We had one small failure this morning, but no big deal. You learn something when something fails.
We just built it from a kit, so we got step-by-step instructions on how to build everything, and then we put our motors in today, and now they're ready to go.
3, 2, 1, ignition.
Even though LaPointe says she wants to be an orthopedic surgeon, she says learning about rocketry teaches her how to be more innovative. Lydia Chubak, CTV News, Matagami First Nation.
That is so cool. That takes us to the end of our newscast this Wednesday night. Thanks for staying up with us. Good night.